The experience in any another programming languages could be any another object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented as in the ones that follow the principles of objects, such as classes, objects, inheritance, and all this. The examples of these languages could be C, C++, Java, all this. Not C, except C, all other languages. Then, before we get started, how about we recap from the last time? What did we learn? Let us start off by recapping what we did last time. Can you remember what we did, what we learned in the session 1 and 2? We learned how to write and run program in Kotlin Playground, how to set up Android Studio on our computers, how to start a project from a template in Android Studio, how to run an Android app on the emulator, add text messages or images to a layout, then modify the attributes of text view or image view. Then, just a quick recap. What are Android study jams? Android study jams are community organized study groups for people to learn how to build Android apps using an online learning course, training course. This training course is nothing but a platform where all interested, enthusiastic kids can get together and study together. So, Developer Student Club DYPCOE is nothing but just a platform for everyone to join and get started. Then, during this fast recap, we will also be seeing what are where to start. There are two tracks. First one is new to programming, which we have just completed in previous two sessions. If you also want to complete the previous, if you want to complete the new to program, you are feel free to go onto our YouTube channel. You will find both videos up there. And for today's session, we will be focusing on prior programming experience track. Then in previous session, we also considered what is in it for you, why should you choose to participate. There were multiple answers such as to learn how to develop apps, to acquire new skills, to earn certificate, to earn badges, to get featured. Correct. The first thing was you will receive a certificate just like this one. Then there is a huge chance that your developed app will be featured by Google Developers India's various social media handles and blogs. To get featured in any of those platforms or blogs, all you have to do is create a simple yet creative app that you have completed during our second track and submit it before 15th January 2020. You will be earning badges like this one. Develop on your developer profile, you can just showcase them. And we also in our previous session we also completed first unit in which we developed the app just like this one, to dice roller. The functionalities where every time you click on this roll button, the dice will roll and give you random output every time. Then at the end of session, we also focused on solution challenge. Solution challenge is nothing but just like a hackathon by Google, where they will be providing problem statements, and all the enthusiastic students or developers from developer student clubs will have to provide a solution to that challenge, and the winners of that challenge will get a fully paid trip to California, US, Sunnyvale, and all another benefits. Well, now that we are done recapping, this is the schedule for our today's session. First, we just had a short recap. Then we will be proceeding further with introducing Mr. Shreyas Patil. After that, we will be focusing on Kotlin cones, then prior programming experience track, and then finally FAQ. We are covering some logistics and high-level introduction to the concepts to help you understand the hands-on portion of the session later. During the hands-on portion, you will be working independently on your Kotlin cones exercises to get ramped up on the Kotlin language basics. Feel free to ask me or any another presenter available in this meeting if you need any sort of help. So that, with that being said, before we get started, I would like to introduce you all to today's session's co-host, Mr. Shreyas Patil. Many of us already know a great deal about him. But for those who don't know him, he is our senior in college as well as in Android development and another IT domains. He is currently working as SWE, that is software development engineer at prestigious company like ScaleReal. He landed a job all by himself without any campus placement run or any kind. With that being said, I would let you all interact with Shreyas. Over to you, Shreyas.
Hey, thanks, Kamlesh. So I will
You can
start
simply
sharing.
proceed now.
Sure. Okay, so can you see my screen? Okay,
Yes, you can.
sure. So hello everyone. I'm Shreyas Patil. I'm I'm very happy to hear like I'm presenting this with Kamlesh at Android Study Jam, and thank you Kamlesh for this opportunity. So let's introduce me. Like who am I? So I'm final year IT undergrad student, also working as a software engineer intern at ScaleReal Technologies Private Limited Pune. And also recently I joined Kotlin Mumbai as an organizer team, which is official JetBrains community of Kotlin. And I'm self-taught developer and I'm also open source contributor. You can like find me active on GitHub and everywhere. Like I'm also technical writer. I write blogs or articles on medium.com. I mostly playing with Kotlin, Android, and Firebase stuff these days. Like I am extremely like exploring in depth these technologies, and also little bit like trying web development too. And if you want to know more about me, you can go to shreyspatil.dev. And also like I would like to share how I started learning and Kotlin. So learning since 2016 when I was student at diploma. I was diploma first year student, and at the time C programming language was like being taught to us as academically. So I started learning Java side by side, and I always learned while doing projects. I mean, I never did any like course or something like that. Never followed any path. I directly bring any project and directly started working on it, and I always learned all concepts like directly working on projects. I also have developed few applications, and some of them are published on Google Play Store under the my name SP Droid, which has like around 5 lakh installations. Also, I developed some open source application for best practice showcase. You can always find those projects at my GitHub handle, Patil Shreyas. If you want to like see small examples of Android, like if you are beginner or maybe intermediate, then if you want to see some conceptual use of Kotlin and Android, then you can always find some repositories. And I developed my first app using Kotlin in 2018, which was PU Alerts, which is application for students of CPU. So at that time, Kotlin was newer programming language, and I directly started learning Kotlin by developing this application. So I would say I learned Kotlin first time by with development of PO Alerts application. And now I want to advise you all, if you this is not advice only for Kotlin or Android, whether any technology you want to learn, like understand core concepts or science behind it first. Like this is very important because technology comes and go. Like technology not remain constant, but science or core concepts behind it always remain same. For example, Android is what? Android is operating system. So you should know operating system concepts, like how threading works, like how processes are scheduled under the hood, which algorithm, like maybe you have learned Robin, that something scheduling algorithms in colleges. And yeah, always stay in touch with the community. Like DSC is a community, so always be active in such communities like GDG Pune or your local communities, developer communities, I would say. So DSC is also like a very good community. Like this year it started, and it's now really going well. And yeah, don't hesitate to ask questions to anybody. Like don't feel like if you ask questions then somebody will judge you. So yeah, if you ask questions, the more you will get. Help each other to grow. Like while you are learning, let's also give chance to others and also share others like what you are learning and how you are achieving it. Be active on Twitter or LinkedIn or any other social platform you feel, and also like read official blogs and articles by Android developers. So I would say like medium.com is a good source for this. Like Google developers, official Google developers share latest things there also. If you follow, there is a medium blog publication by Google developers, like Android developers. So there only Google developers post their articles and blogs, which is very nice if you want to be an Android development. So I would suggest you to follow them, and also follow active people in the community, so that you can always stay in tune with latest stuff about Android. For example, there are some organizations like Android Worldwide, Mindocs, or etc. Means there are so many. And one of the main thing which I would recommend everyone, like read code on GitHub. Means reading code is like good practice if you want to learn something new. If you're not understanding it, no worry, just read it, and if you're not getting it, just search about it on Google. And this is also another important, this is important, like to be good in Google search or Stack Overflow. If you know how to search, and if you know like what you will get after searching, if you are expert at Google searching, then you will easily become a good programmer in any technology, in any domain, no matter. And ask or answer questions on Stack Overflow. If you have any question or any doubt, then directly put it on Stack Overflow. Somebody will help you for sure. And if you know answer of any question, okay, if you know answer of any question, then directly answer it on Stack Overflow. Maybe you will get some reputation, and also it will be good to the community. And lastly, I will say be open. Be open in community. Be open to share your knowledge. Be open to accept your mistakes or difficulties, like what we say. So yeah, that's it from my side. So let's start Android Study Jam 3. So as Kamlesh told us at the beginning, like it is prior programming experience track session 1, the people who already experience in this. So here are some learning objectives, like learn the essentials of Kotlin programming language. So in this track, we will learn some basics of Kotlin programming language. We will learn how to build variety of applications. We will also get to know about best practices for Android development. And we will also see and discover resources to continue learning. So yeah, I think this will definitely be helpful for you to learn Kotlin and Android. And if you have any difficulties, then please contact me or Kamlesh or any person in the community. We will always there to help you. So what are the prerequisites for this study jam? Okay, so programming experience in any OOPS language, means object oriented programming language, like if you know Java, CPP, or Python programming language, then it would be great. But if not, then also I would say it's easy to grasp Kotlin, because Kotlin is functional programming language, which also allows us use to OOPS language. I mean, Kotlin is not fully OOPS language. You can also directly write functions like C programming language in Kotlin, and you must have a PC and good internet connectivity, which is really a great need these days in COVID-19. Okay, so what's your favorite programming language and why? I would ask some of you from audience. Maybe you can turn on your mic and answer with some reasons.
So, Praful, yeah.
Would you like to tell us about your favorite programming language?
Hello, can anybody answer? Like, just be open. It's not necessary to answer Kotlin. You can say any programming language of your own choice, and just give a small reason, like why do you love it. Maybe you can start it from your own.
Well, the first thing, obviously, HTML is not a programming language, neither it is my favorite. That was some funny part. But as of now, my favorite programming language is Dart, because using Dart we can create cross-platform applications on both iOS and web Android. and now they are also deep diving into web development, all this stuff with a single code base, which is why I love Kotlin. Sorry, which is why I love Dart a lot.
Nice. So anybody can answer, like anybody want to say something?
It's not a viva.
Yeah.
We all are just members of community, and feel free to open up and express whatever you may be. Not necessarily informal. You can converse in Marathi, Hindi, English, whichever is convenient for you. If not, I believe Shreyas, you can proceed further.
Okay, let's proceed. Sure. So let's understand and know what is Kotlin. So Kotlin is a modern programming language that helps developer to be more productive. So as you can see, like more about Kotlin on kotlinlang.org. So Kotlin is a modern programming language. Like it's like launched in 2013 or 14, I guess, and it got stable in 2017. So it's very easy language as per my opinion. Means I really did not find any difficulties while starting learning Kotlin. So let us see benefits of Kotlin. So Kotlin is expressive and conscious. So what is meant by expressive and conscious? Like it always does some of the things internally. Like we don't need to override to write some everything for Kotlin. Like everything is provided by standard library of Kotlin. Like data classes, extension function are some features, and safer code means if you are a Java developer or have worked in Java, then you might face null pointer exception everywhere. Like null pointer exception is a real pain for development. Like you might have faced this, and so yeah, this is Kotlin prevents this kind of errors. And yeah, this provides compile safety. Like on compilation, you might get errors, but on runtime, it's like a less probability that you will get errors. And interoperable with Java. So this is one of the favorite, or I would say important benefit of Kotlin. Like you can interoperable Java programs with Kotlin. Means, for example, class you have written in Java, you can directly call it from Kotlin, and you can call Kotlin class from Java code. Means they are both in 100% interoperable with each other. So that's the main thing. And structured concurrency. So it provides structured concurrency. It provides like libraries like coroutine and for multi-threading, which provides you easy way to handle your own threads, and everything is managed by coroutines. And one of the my favorite reason of Kotlin is like it really allows us to write code which is readable, which is important principle in clean code. And yeah, one of the favorite reason Android development is Kotlin first. Means Google developers had announced that Kotlin is the first class programming. Kotlin will be the first class programming language for Android development. So now from next, like everything will be first available for Kotlin programming language. Then if possible, then they will allow it for Java. So I would recommend if you are about to start Android development, then start it from Kotlin because it has more support than Java now. So one's favorite program since you started programming language, Hello World program. Like just print Hello World on console. So this program does the same. So this is Kotlin's smallest program. So just like C programming language, you can compare it to like there is a void main function, and in that void main function we write printf Hello World. So this is like that. This is a function keyword here, fun keyword, and this is the main. As a traditional approach, this is a main entry point of Kotlin programming language, that is main function. You can directly write this in something.kt file, and if you write this, if you run this program, you will get hello world printed on console. So yeah, that's it about Kotlin's small program. So yeah, this will print hello world. And what do you notice about Kotlin? Okay, and parameters and return type. So for example, after hello world program, your favorite program is addition of two numbers. Okay, so this is how parameters are declared in Kotlin. Like This is this is function name, and this is parameters. Like first there is a variable name, parameter name, and colon and type. For example, A is int type, and here B is also int type. And once parameter list is complete, we close braces, and there is again a colon and int, which means this is a return type. That what this function will return? This function will return int type. So as we can see, there is operator plus here, so it is returning a plus b. That's it. This add function takes two parameters a, b of int type and returns int type. And yeah, this is a display. Means in Java there is a keyword like void. In C or C++, void keyword you might know. No? So void keyword in Kotlin is simple unit. Okay. So if your function does not return anything, then you can write it like colon unit. Unit means void. Simple, in simple language. So now mutable variable or immutable variable. Maybe if you are someone from JavaScript, then you might know this mutable or immutable. Still, there are two keywords in Kotlin for declaring variable, var and val. So var means counter, for example, counter int equals to 5. So mutable means we can change its value throughout the program at any time. Means we can we can directly change counter's value anytime by assigning it something. And immutable, for example, val name equals to Rebecca. So this variable can't be changed. It should be initialized on its declaration, and yeah, that's it. It would never change throughout the life of program, but we can change value of counter. And yeah, what's interesting about this variable declaration? So now you can see like in previous slide, there is a return type. No, sorry, there is a type of variable like this is int, this is string. So this is not actually needed. You can directly assign length equals to 5, message equals to welcome directly in Kotlin, and it will automatically resolve data type. So maybe this feature is like Python. Maybe if you have someone experienced in Python, then you might know this. Like we can directly assign this, and it will automatically resolve. For example, this its data type will be int, or its data type will be string. So yeah. Okay. So this is the beauty of Kotlin programming language, that it allows us to write clean and readable code. So for example, if we are someone in Java, and if you want to if you want to compare something, then we would like this if else ladder or something like that. By the way, Java 14th version of Java supports this. Still, it's not yet like stable, that one. So for example, if score is less than 20, then low, then less than 17, medium, and this ladder. And you can easily do it in Kotlin, as you can see on the right side. Just like in Java, there is a keyword switch. We have when in Kotlin, and by when we can directly put our conditional value here, and by opening this lambda, we can directly return values to this. Okay, so now classes. So how to declare classes in Kotlin? So it's just like a Java, like using class keyword. So for example, you want to create a class square, so you can directly create a class square and while side. So in Java, there is no we can't do declare variables like, or declare fields like this. So Kotlin allows to do this, like we can directly declare member variables from constructor parameters, and this will be considered as constructor in Kotlin. So in Java, we need to write separate like class definition for constructor. In Kotlin, you can simply write this in one line. So how you can create instance of this? So while s equals to square of 10, so this 10 value will be assigned to its side, and we can directly print s dot side using its reference. So yeah, that's it. That's how simple it is. And collections. So if you are someone who needs like competitive programming and something, then data structure, Kotlin provides variety of data structure and with simple schema or we can say structure. So for example, if you want to create a list, you can directly use this function list of and pass anything to it. For example, here they have passed 1, 2, 3, and this will be num list. If you want to create a set, which will have set means like it always preserves unique values, and you can this will be a num set and num map hash map. You might know like key value pairs weak store. So in Java, I think we used put method, and in put method we provide key and value. But in Kotlin it's simple. We can directly call map of and assign A to 10, B to 20, and B to 30. I think it should be C to 30. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So we can directly assign or create a map using this simple method in Kotlin. Now let us move to logistics. So if you want to learn Kotlin, then here is a website KotlinCons, which is very like good resource to learn Kotlin and fundamental concepts of Kotlin like collections, conventions, and there are some means features of Kotlin. You can explore it here. So we will today work on these first three categories like introduction, convention, and collection. So this will be introductory part of Kotlin where we will learn some basics of Kotlin. These are some conventions we should follow in Kotlin. Conventions, any programming language, there are some conventions like using something or using function names, variable names, or something like that. And collections are like collection we just saw, like how to interact with the list, sets, maps. We'll see it. And yeah, this is Kotlin Cons, how it looks like. Here is a index, or we can say resource to learn. Here is a programming block where we can write code, and here is a problem statement. And if you found any difficulties, for example, you can't solve this problem, then you can just click on this button show answer, which is like inverted, written inverted, and you will get solution there. And yeah, this is my favorite, like Kotlin Playground. I always use it for sharing my code snippets with someone. And if you want to try Kotlin on web, then this is very good platform to. Also, it is good to practice Kotlin on web. So yeah, let's get started. I will directly go to Kotlin Playground. So yeah, okay, you can see. So this is Kotlin Playground. Just go to play.kotlinlang.org and hit enter, and you will enter Kotlin Playground. So here you can write a any Kotlin program. For example, I have written this hello world hello program simple, and you can directly run this program from here. Okay, we can do any kind of program here. For example, let's get some basic program. So val name equals to, for example, I will write my name, and we will write a function greet, and I will pass name here, and we will create another function greet name string. As we know, in Kotlin, a function name should start with fun, and there is a parameter name and parameter type here. So what this function will do, this will just greet a person, for example, good morning. So now I want to print name of that person in front of this good morning. So how do we do it in Java? Like we concatenate like plus name, okay? But in Kotlin, it's very simplified. In Kotlin, we can directly include any variable under in string using $name. So what will this do? Like it will print value of that variable. If we put dollar and name, then it will just put value of that variable. For example, I will run this program now, and you can see good morning Shreyas. Okay, so this is how this is simplicity of Kotlin programming language, that because in Java sometimes what happens, like if there is any big concatenation like something like this, then variable name, then something again, and then again variable name, so it becomes hard to debug in Java. So in Kotlin, we can simply do this. And now for what happens, what if we, for example, I will create a class, for example, class student, and it will have ID of int parameter and name of string type. Okay, so this is student class. And for example, now I will create a student instance here. And you might have noticed a thing in Java, we usually create instance using new operator, but here there is no any new operator. You can directly assign it. For example, I will pass one here, and I will pass my name here. Okay, and now I want to greet student. So this will be of student type. And now, okay, now how to access this? For example, I simply can't directly access this. Okay, so okay, so I can't directly access this right now because this is like there is a instance name and dot name means access module access property. To access property in string, we will need to open a curly brace and close a curly brace here. So now this whole expression will be evaluated in Kotlin. And now if you see, I will print. See, good morning, Shreyas. So this is how you can access classes and instance via fields in Kotlin. And yeah, that's it. That's a little intro about Kotlin Playground. And if you want to know more about, then here are another features provided by Kotlin Playground. Here is a hands-on. If you want to learn something, some like there are so many features of Kotlin. Kotlin is not just for Android development. You can even build whole backend server using Kotlin now. You can build full stack web application with Kotlin. So I will not go in depth now because we are currently focusing on Android. And here are some examples you can learn in Kotlin by referring this. And now let's move to the cones. So this Kotlin cones is just a series of exercises to get you familiar with the Kotlin syntax and some idioms. You can practice this in IntelliJ IDEA itself by installing their plugin. But now for your understanding, I will directly start from here. I already completed these cons actually before this session. So I will get you through some basic concepts of Kotlin. So for example, this is a function start. Okay, and this is returning a string, and here is a problem statement like create a function which returns the string. Okay, so I can directly if there is an inline function, this is like inlining. Like if there is not big code in your function, then you can directly declare function as this equals to and directly return value. Maybe I can show you in playground for better understanding because we can't see output there. For example, I will simple do this like while a equals to 10, while b equals to 20, and there is a function add. Okay, so this function just adds two variables int b int. Okay, so now on slide we saw something like this, right? A plus b, but we can directly do this like that equals to a plus b. So now this is also possible in Kotlin, and I will directly do this add a comma b, and let's directly print sum equals to sum, and you can see like it will work sum equals to 30. So this is simplicity of Kotlin. If your function is small, then you can directly write it as. And yeah, name arguments. So yeah, this is one of my favorite feature in Kotlin programming language. So like if your function has some many arguments like 4 or 5 arguments, then it becomes hard to debug like for which argument we are passing which value. So for example, here is a function join to string which has many parameters for function, but I can directly specify without any order here. I can directly specify prefix. For example, this function has some what you can say parameters like separator, prefix, and postfix. So I haven't passed value here for separator. Okay, you can see I have written prefix equals to this square bracket, opening square bracket, and postfix equals to this closing square bracket. Means I can directly use this. Okay, I can directly show you in this. For example, I will create another function greet where I will say I will declare two parameters, name string and message string. Okay, this will do what? This will just return a combination of message and name. Okay, so as you can see, this name is first here and message is second parameter of this function. So what I can do is, if I don't use a name parameter, then if I pass my name here and good afternoon, then okay, it will just simply print this. Okay, so this is not function. I forgot to add function body here. Okay, so this function will return string. Okay, good afternoon, Shreyas. But what if I want to write good afternoon first? Okay, so I will just write message equals to good afternoon and name equals to after this. So yeah, this will also work. Means we can change order by using this name parameter. So this is name parameters. I would say you will get more about it if you practice it. So yeah, and yeah, default arguments in Kotlin is very nice. So what happens in Java? Okay, so this is like function in Java where you overload a function, right? In Java, C++, we generally overload functions. We create same function, function with same name, and overload it. For example, here is a function foo, which has name int, a name, number, and two uppercase. Another function which only has name and number. Another function it has name and uppercase, and another function only name. So we can see here name is permanent and other two fields are like variable in this. So what we can do in Kotlin? So in Kotlin we can directly assign value to any variable in from function body itself, from function declaration. For example, here function foo, name string. This name doesn't have default value. Okay, so it's compulsory here. But for example, this number, there is a value 42 assigned. If there is no value provided, it will consider a default value as 42, and if provided, then it will consider that value. And two uppercase, this is boolean by default assigned to false. So this is how it will work. For example, I have called this function with only name. So this function I have called only with name and number, and this function I called with name and two uppercase property, and this function I called with name, number, and means all of this. So we can also demo this. We can write a simple so for example, we can create a multiply function here where we will add a number of int parameter, and we will add another variable multiply by, and which will have default value 2. For example, this will be just a double. Let me add. Okay, and it will be simple like number into multiply by. And for example, I will simply call this function. For example, let's say I have multiply 4. Okay, so there are two parameters in multiply. One is number and another is multiply by. But I just passed one value here. So it will automatically consider multiply by as a 2 because it's default variable, and you can see 8 is printed here. Now if I pass 3 here, you will see output as 12. So this is beauty of Kotlin, like you can consider a default value as well. Okay, and lambdas in Kotlin. So for example, if you have function literals in Kotlin, or maybe you in Java is also there is a Lambda, but it's after I think Java 8, Java version 8. So for example, if you have something like this, there is a collection class. For example, if you want to find that if it contains even or not, then here is a functional interface implemented here. Any means it returns true if anybody if any of that collection contains value having a modulus by 2 equals to 0, means if any of the value in that collection, if it's modulated by 2, and if that that returns result as a 0, then it will be written as true. So this is how we can use lambdas. And yeah, we already saw like how string works in Kotlin. Like we can directly format our values, directly variable values in our Kotlin. We already saw this, like how we can uh, include month here and data class. So you might have heard Pojo, pure old Java object. So for example, here is a class person in Java. So this is Java code, right? You may have seen this in Java. There is a Pojo class, and you might have declared this variable name and age. Then this is a constructor, and you implement getter and setters, right? Get name, set name, or something like that. So in Kotlin, it's just simple. Just declare class as a data class and just declare values. And yeah, Kotlin will generate code for Pojos. Kotlin will do it for you. Like, so you can see like this much of code is like converted to one line code in Kotlin. So this reduce a lot of overhead. Okay. So I think this is some tricky or maybe hard to understand. I will directly show you how nullables in Kotlin. So for example, we talk like Kotlin is safe programming language, that we can know if there is a null or nullable in Kotlin. So for example, I declare a variable where suppose enum of int question mark. Question mark here means it's optional operator, means it might be null. If you declare any field as data type and question mark, then it may be a null. Okay. So for example, if this is null, okay, and now how I should avoid its problem. So I can simply directly write this. For example, there is a we will create another field value equals to num, and okay, it might create null pointer exception in Java if we try to access this value. But how we can avoid? We will directly write here a question mark, means it's a operator in Kotlin, and we can directly call it like let. If this is null, it will do some operations here like it into 2. Otherwise, this is like conditional operator in Java, or otherwise it will simply return 0. So if I print value, so as you can see, it will return 0 because this name is null now. But what if I assign 10 to it? Okay, so if I assign 10 to it, it will be evaluated as 20 because num is not null. And if it is not null, then we are like we are creating expression like 8 into 2, means 10 into 2 it's happening here. So this is how we save our program. So this will help us in clearing some crashes in our application. And one of my favorite feature, you can try uh, like cones, which will be helpful. So this is my favorite feature in Kotlin programming language. For example, there is a class created by standard programming language, but we can declare our own function of extension over it. So for example, okay, this int class is not created by me. Okay, this data type is provided by Kotlin, right? So if I want to something like, okay, I will create a simple function like, okay, I want to know if this is num is even or odd. So in Java, what we do, like if we can directly like write some conditions here and we can know. Okay, but I want to do it using extension function. So what I will do, I will just create a simple function here, fun int dot is even. Okay, so what will this function will do? So this function, like observe the syntax. I have written a function keyword, int means data type, and dot is even. Okay, so this will create extension function of this function, and I will simply write this. This means this int and this modulus 2 equals to 0, right? I will add braces for clear understanding. So okay, this function will return true or false, right? This is optional to write data, return data type if you have used this equals directly, but yeah, it is more readable now that it isn't boolean. So now what I can do is I can directly pass like, okay, I can directly collect it in a variable. I can directly call it like 10 dot is even, and yeah, it will simply return true or false. Like this is beauty of Kotlin programming language, and you can create extension function on any type. So this will print true or false. You can see this is returning true, and I will now pass 9 false. You can see we have like written a much more conscious and clean code with using extension functions. That's why it's my favorite feature of Kotlin. And yeah, now if you like you might have used interfaces in Java, right? So interfaces are something like which have some abstract methods. So in Kotlin you can write it using object keyword. For example, here comparator is a interface of a generic interface of int, and you can override its method compare using this object. So this is anonymous body. So you might have used anonymous blocks in Kotlin, Java programming language. So this is how we can also do in Kotlin. And yeah, SAM convergence. SAM means single abstract method. So if you have any interface which just have single method in that, for example, you might have used runnable what we can say runnable interface in threading, which only has one method run. So we can simply do this like, for example, here is a key. Okay, there is a collection dot sort method in Kotlin. Okay, so its second parameter is a lambda, which only has a one what we can say one function. So we can directly write using opening and closing curly braces, and this will be a lambda, and it will be provided by a SAM convergence. So that's it. And there are some cool extension functions on collections in Kotlin, which will be really helpful if you are someone who like competitive programmer and want to participate in competitive programming using Kotlin programming language. Then Kotlin's standard library provides you a lot of extension utilities which you can easily use. For example, here is a function sorted descending. So what it will do, it will just order your all elements by descending order, and that's it. There is also another function like sorted by, sorted or something. You can do anything here. Now let us move to conventions. Okay, so here is a comparison. So for example, this my date. Okay, this my date is a data class. Okay, so as you can see, operators or something like that is only, for example, there is a plus operator, minus operator. These operators are only accessible on primitive data types like int, boolean, or not boolean, not double or something like that. Okay, but we in Kotlin we can also implement that in Kotlin we can implement for our custom types. For example, by using this comparable interface. For example, here is a my date class which has year, month, and day of month, and we implemented this comparable interface. And if we do this, we can directly compare our two date instances by using this less than operator or greater any logical operator. So yeah, that's easy how it is. So in range, let us see in range. For example, you want to check like if if current date is if falls between previous date or next date, like start date or end date. So we can do it like Kotlin provides in keyword for this. So for example, there is a function check in range. So this is date and this is first date and its last date. So we want to check if that date falls between first date or last date. Okay, so we can directly check it using date in date range, first or last. So yeah, how simple it is. Like we means you can see like it is easy to read also. Means in Java or in any other programming language, we will need to write all this code in this function, but we just written it in this single line, just date in first range, and this in is very implemented. Okay, this is implemented here. Just like CPP provides operator overloading, Kotlin also does. There is an operator function contains, and the logic is written here, which is reflected here. So yeah, that's it. And here are some range operator. For example, I will show it to you in playground so that I can show. So for example, you want to say something like, okay, start my loop from 10 to 15. So this is how, and I will directly call for each, and yeah, it will print my numbers here. So if I run this program, then you will see 10 to 15 number digits are printed here. Means what is this? This is a range operator. We can do a lot of things using this. For example, I will simply write a if operation. If 5 in for example 0 to 100. Okay, I want to check if 5 falls between means you can consider any variable here, but for simplicity I am just using this. So what we can say, like in 100, or else it will print not in 100, not in 0 to 100. This becomes easy to check in Kotlin. So now this printed in 0 to 100, and if I, for example, give any negative value, -10, means you can easily check these computations in Kotlin using range operator. So this is cool really. And yeah, for loop. So it has a yeah, this loop, and Kotlin does not have a while loop kind of thing. So yeah, it is like that. And operator overloading we already saw, like we can also overload our own operator. For example, here is a operator function on my date, which is plus, which is just adds time intervals. And yeah, that's it. You can actually explore this by doing it on it your own. Okay, this is a destructive declaration, which I also like a lot. So okay, I will demonstrate it to you by some real example. For example, okay, we will keep this class. We will create a data class student. Okay, there is a data class student which has ID and name. So for example, I create a student equals to student ID and for example name. Okay, so now I want its field directly in variable, so I can directly destruct variables like ID, name equals to student. So what it will do, it will collect values from the student class as per position. For example, here is ID and here is a name. So ID is first parameter of student, is first field of student, and name is second field. So these values will be automatically reflected in these variables, and we can directly simply use this in Kotlin. For example, here I'm printing name, so it will simply print my name. And yeah, it's very like tricky to use. So for example, if you by mistake change this, so it's hazardous, like you won't be able to find. So use it carefully. As you can see, I by mistakenly assigned name, I written name first and ID as second parameter, and I printed name and it's printed ID. So yeah, it should be like you should check position, or I would, in my opinion, I really don't use this because it's really hard. If you are in future, if I'm working on a great big project, and if I by mistake change any field or add any field, then it's very hard to debug, find errors for me. And yeah, let us move to collections. Okay, so as I already said, like Kotlin provides a wide variety of collection functions utilities. So for example, uh, here is a shop class which has a parameter as list of customer. Okay, this is list of customer. And what if you want to assign you want to convert that list into set? Okay, so there is a just a small method like list dot to set. So here list is customers, so it will directly convert customers to list method, customers to a set of customer. So yeah, that's it. For example, you want to filter some, for example, here customers list, and you want to filter out cities of customer. Okay, so you can directly say call this method on directly on your any collection and dot map. So it dot city, so it will get customers city and convert it into set. So yeah, this will be a set of city. And you can also filter it. For example, you want to remove fields which are not you remove some data from list based on some condition. For example, here condition is it.city equals to city. So the city which is passed here, you want to filter out only records which are present in the city. So yeah, that's it. It will do as it is. And there are some utilities like all. For example, this will return true if all customers are from the given city. Means if customer are all from same city, like this is passed, so it will return true. Okay, just using this small function all. If you want to find something like at least one customer from the city, for example, you want to make sure like customer include any of the city. So this you will just write customer.any and condition here. So it will return true or false on based on that condition. If you want customer count of the customers from given city, so customers.count it.city equals to city. And if you want to find a customer, there is operator find and same condition. So you can see like it's very easy in Kotlin, and you can see it is also readable. Like even if I don't explain it to you, you can get what it's doing, right? So I would say practice it, yeah, because I can't completely cover it to you. So for example, in programming, when we start programming, we always do minimum maximum program, like find minimum, find maximum. So from that list, there is a simple function max by. So max by means, for example, this is a customer class. Okay, means list of customers, and in that list of customers, you want customer having order size. Okay, customer having order, and that order size should be greater. Then it will filter out that customer by max by that order size. So it will just return that. You can imagine like it will be hard, not hard, but it will be more tricky to write this such program in Java. And there is a second function which returns the most expensive product which has been ordered. For example, it orders, and here is a flat map. Flat map does what? Flat map accepts a parameter from another list, and it just converts it to a simple iterable. So we can, and here is a we are checking maximum by its price. As we already saw, here is a function sorted by. So this customer will be sorted by using order size. Okay. Now how we can add we can do aggregation functions in on list. So we can directly call sum by double, and we can directly access its price. For example, in this order for this function returns total order price. So maybe you can imagine there is a cart and in that cart there are some items, and that we want some of that items. Then what we will do in Java or any other programming language, we will run a for loop, and in that for loop we will iterate each and every element in cart. But in Kotlin it's just a simple one liner solution, sum by double or sum by maybe there might be another function, and you can directly it dot price, so it will be automatically added. You can also do this group by. For example, you want some like a customer group by city, so it will return a map of customers living in each city. Okay, so this is how it is. Like, even if I don't explain, maybe you will get it, like, because it is easy to read. You can also create partitions in Kotlin. Like there is a function on collection called partition, which easily lets us to do this. And yeah, I would suggest to go through all these, like all these steps. Now this is like one more important. So if you want to do these calculations in Java or any another programming language, then you will write this much of code. Okay, you will need to write this code and so many logics there. So for example, you want to find group by length, then this is very easy, group by and length. Okay, so you can observe here we haven't written it, right? We usually write it here. So it means automatically generated by Kotlin when you write a lambda parameter. But if you want to specify your own name, then you can when you start lambda expression, you can directly name it, and you can use this arrow operator, and you will be able to access its value using that name which you have given here. And here is another value, maximum size of group. So it's very easy. Even if you read, you can get it. Like, we are mapping it to size and we are finding maximum between it. Okay, and thus if you see, like, this logic is really too good than these 2 lines or 3 lines. So as you can see, like, it's very simplified in Kotlin. So this is that. Like, I would pass this to Kamlesh then for next steps. I hope you understand like a use of Kotlin cones or Kotlin playground. And if you have any questions, then you can reach me anytime. You will find my contact detail on my website, shreyaspatil.eu. So yeah, that's it. Kamlesh, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Shreyas. Session was really amazing, and I would like to thank you on behalf of everyone taking your time and being here with us. Okay. Proceeding further, what did you learn? What are the things that you noticed about Kotlin? What are the features that you love apart from? So features could be any of them. Like there might be features like from Java or any another programming language. You don't have to use you don't have to use semicolons. Any another language like you, unlike Python, there is no indentation necessary. Each and every language has their own pros and cons. After that, if any of you want to say something, you can it further. So, recap of what we just learned. Just right now, we have accomplished a lot. Started to learn these important topics in Kotlin. Today, we just applied this knowledge into building our first Android apps. It's okay if you feel like you haven't mastered Kotlin yet. It's just the beginning. and you will become more and more comfortable with the Kotlin language with a lot more practice. As I said earlier, you do not learn from any course or anything else. You learn from your experience. Experience could be the best teacher you ever get. So I would highly recommend, along with this course, try to complete your own projects. That is the reason why DSC is organizing that competition where you can develop any apps on your own, and we will those applications will be featured on Google Developers India's Twitter, Instagram page, so that your own project could get showcased on social medias. You will get published. So that was the only reason that to encourage you all. Just quick recap what we just learned. We learned how to create functions, what are ranges, then collections, default and named arguments, null safety, filters, lambdas, maps, strings, classes, extensions, and many more. If you still haven't understood, you can just perform all these Kotlin codes all by yourself. It is not necessary, but it is a pre-work for you to understand Kotlin and the second track much better. That being said, we can always just proceed further. If you have any doubt, you can just ask me or any another presenters available in the meeting, as Shreya said earlier. Now, with that being said, we will proceed further to the next segment. These are badges. Each pathway will earn you a badge. And in order to achieve your milestones, in order to achieve your goals, you will have to achieve all these 10 badges. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 5, up till until 10. When you earn these badges, along with these badges, you are earning the knowledge, you are understanding the basic concepts of Kotlin, and understanding the Android app development. So, the final segment of our today's session, FAQs. Many of the questions were covered last time, yet I will repeat them for those who couldn't attend the last session. And I have also appended few questions. Since it's a beta program, how to install Android Studio? I am unable to set up the Studio. Do I need to do anything else? Akash will share you the link, the code lab session where they have proper instructions on how to install and set up the Android Studio. Reading further, since it is a beta program, there are few bugs and errors in the site in the code labs. That is why we have already informed concerned authorities. They will be looking it as soon as possible. In case if you face these issues, such as my progress bar is not updating even after I complete the code app, what should I do? I believe you should sign in again, and complete all the steps. Then, is there any time limit for each pathway or unit or activity? There are no time constraints for you to perform any activity. You can perform as many times as you want. The only constraint is that for you to complete the second track before 15 January 2021, which is very ample time for anyone to complete both along with the Android app project. Then the fourth question is, how can I earn certificates for Android app development in Kotlin? The only constraint for you complete the second track before 15 January 2021, as I said earlier, which is a lot and ample time for anyone to complete both. That the certificate is only for the completion of second track. If you complete only first track, you are not eligible for the certificate. How can I get my app published/featured in Google Developers India's official pages? You will have to develop and submit any simple yet creative app that you have created during the study jam before 15th January 2021. Out of all submitted apps throughout all the participants, one or many amazing apps will be provided for the Google Developers India. They will mention these apps on their blogs, their social media handles, their posts to encourage all other non-technical people to participate in such study jams. Then one of the community member asked me this question last time. What is Android PWA? As you can see on the screen, PWA stands for Progressive Web Apps. Progressive web apps are web applications that use app-like features to create high-quality app experiences that are fast, reliable, and engaging. In much simpler words, progressive web app is nothing but a website that performs just like an application on your browser, so that you do not need to have any Android development skills. You can just create a PWA and it can be executed on all the devices such as mobile, tablet, laptop, PC, and all another devices that can perform that can execute browsers. The web has incredible reach and offers powerful ways to users discover new experiences. But users are also used to searching for applications in the operating system store. Those users are many cases already familiar with the brand or service they are seeking and have high level intentionally and the intentionality that results in higher than average engagement metrics. Then seventh question, error. Who is not getting completed? I faced the same issue with the code labs. Best way I found to fix it was to restart the browser and go through the quiz lab again. Then it will be counted. As I said earlier, it is a beta program. Since it is a beta program, there might be some issues, bugs, or errors. So I would like you to understand the issues and do not quit. Another error, didn't receive badge even after completing our activities. So the solution would be refresh the page and give the quiz again. It has happened with me quite a few times.
Hello,
Some
Kamlesh.
session gets timed out. If many of you are
Hello,
web developers,
Kamlesh.
you might sorry. So if any of you are web developers, you might know that whenever somebody logs in, the session ID is generated. Due to some errors, this is a program. Session ID might expire after few times since there is no time limit. So I would recommend that you refresh the page. And even if there are any another issues except that I haven't mentioned yet, so these are some solutions that you can try. The first one would be try clearing android.com cookies. You might know that in every browser, whenever you visit a website or any web page, there are cookies generated in our website. Due to these cookies, they might contain our previous session IDs, which may result in our current session ID failure. I would recommend that you clear or delete your previous cookies. Then restart your browser. Make sure you're logged in. Make sure you're connected to internet. Click on done button after you finish the code lab. And if it still doesn't work out, refresh the refresh the web page. There was a few questions regarding the criteria for developing an app to be featured on Google Developers India. So there is no particular criteria, but if you ask me if I was the one to choose, I would have these criteria. The instructions are pretty simple, that you have to create an app that is extremely simple. It is creative, user friendly, so that non-technical people can also engage with the app easily, easy to understand and operate, unique functionality. You all know that we never install two same apps that have same functionalities. We need to have some sort of a unique functionality for an app to be installed, right? And a thoughtful idea. A thoughtful idea could be like a medical delivery system and Uber pool, etc. Something like that. You can have a unique idea. Then there is a question. Next question. I would want Shreyas to answer this question. Yes, either
Yeah, sure.
you can just
So,
unmute and answer.
okay. So yeah, why to prefer Kotlin? So in my opinion, it's very easy to pick up that language because Kotlin is very easy to learn and it lets you create powerful applications immediately. Means when I started working on my own application like PO alerts, then at the time, at beginning, I was not even able to like understand Kotlin syntax, but just I practiced and I easily developed that application in 10 days. Okay. I just developed the application in 10 days by learning Kotlin side by side and by learning Android side by side. So this is in my opinion, it's very easy to pick up. It's clean and compact syntax. Okay, means it really makes code more readable. It supports functional and OOP styling, means it's not necessary that your program should have classes and objects. It's not necessary in Kotlin, means you can you can treat it like a C programming or something like that. It is safe, as we already discussed. It provides null safety and other safeties, and one of the main reason, interoperability. So as you might already know, like Kotlin is new programming language, and community already developed so many tools for Java. So in Kotlin, we can all directly use that Java libraries or Java features in Kotlin. So that's how we can say Kotlin is good. And one of my favorite reason, multi-platform support. So from now, Kotlin will also have, with Kotlin you can also build iOS apps, desktop apps, and web apps now, because Kotlin has multi-platform support. You can write a shared code in Kotlin, and respective UI codes will be now native. So you can create Android apps, what you can say, desktop apps, web apps, and iOS apps using Kotlin now. So yeah, that's it. Why I prefer Kotlin over other programming languages. So yeah, that's it from my side. Over to Kamlesh.
Thanks, Shreyas. That was really thoughtful and understanding. Moving further, stay tuned for the session 4. Session 4 will be on 19th December 2020 on at the same time as today's. That will be 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. I'm sure that you all are eager to use your new skills in Kotlin and apply them to Android development. Stay tuned for our next session where you will start to build your Android first apps. To learn more, want to learn more, all this all these links will be shared in your chat box. So stay tuned for all these links. Akash or Shreyas, either of you can share these links. Like 62. Then I would highly recommend for you to share what we have just learned using the hashtags hashtag Android Study Jams and hashtag DSC-DYPCOE. Thank you so much for participating in today's session, everyone. Hope you all learn more about Kotlin and feel free to share what you have just learned on social media. You can post photos or highlights or screenshots from today's sessions on social media using these hashtags. Thank you, everyone. In case if somebody wants to express something or ask something, you can feel free. Anybody? Okay, at least stay tuned for the links. With that being said, we can proceed further. End the conversation. Okay, bye guys. Thank you all for.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.